Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect out there, listening, learning, teaching this word in all sincerity and truth, in the hopes that we may edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shai, especially in these last days. It's your brother Kawabai coming back to you with another video. Lord willing, this be edifying. And them small hats, aka Amalekites, them so-called Jews, Israelis, they've pretty much turned this Jabalia refugee camp in the area over there in northern Gaza. As you can see, I got the Channel 4 news, opened up. This was put up 2 hours ago. Dozens reported killed in an Israeli airstrike at Jabalia refugee camp over there in northern Gaza, and he's pretty much turned that place, man. It looks like pure rubble. Like the walls are looking like Swiss cheese, and this devil is pretty much, on the main platform showing you how much of a devil he really is, and the retaliations of these actions and these maneuvers over there in the so-called Middle East is only going to result to more and more, angrier, nations over there in that region getting involved. Like you got Iran, wanting to get involved, Saudi Arabia, Hezbollah, which I think Hezbollah, them guys, they fight up in the mountains and they got like 100,000 troops and they're heavily armed, heavily trained. I think they got like 130,000 missiles ready to be launched into Israel. And this is basically like just gonna be like a breaking news, update of what's going on over there. But pretty much in response to this now, you got worldwide protests happening. Which that's a part of biblical prophecy. That's the spirit. I'm already there. So let me go ahead and read you this first. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. So we have to be very, very diligent in how we measure the times. All right, especially being that we are in the last days. All right, and here it is. You got some beautiful prophecies popping off, and and all certain guys can think about is seeking attention, and rolling on the floor with Palestinians in protest, man. I mean, it don't make no sense. The scriptures speak about, it's clear, to the elect anyway, that, we're not supposed to be going out there in a carnal mindset. Because, the scriptures speak about, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. And if you don't understand that, then you err not knowing the scriptures. Okay. First of all, the scriptures speak about being wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We have no business going, to these protests and fighting with Palestinians, man. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. All right. But meanwhile, you got, that guy, Chief Ephraim, he's talking about, calling all camps to come down and go to the same park, and pretty much he wants round 2. And I mean, what kind of fucking carnal mindset is that, man? And the Lord is going to really expose these guys in these last days for this stupid decisions that they're making. But if the blind leadeth the blind, they shall both fall into the ditch. All right, because that's not diligently measuring the time. See, we're measuring the time through this word, and we're filtering what's happening, through these articles, through biblical prophecy. And that's, we got some beautiful prophecies popping off in these last days, and that's all we're supposed to be concerned with, man. Okay, it says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. See, the Lord said that there was going to be wars and rumors of wars, which we're going to get that after. He told Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he told the disciples that there was actually going to be wars and rumors of wars. So we're actually measuring the time, through these biblical prophecies, man. So this is beautiful that this is happening, because ultimately, man, the more chaos and, one thing that people don't seem to realize is that the Lord is a man of war. So, the Lord is really stirring things up, stirring up the pot. All right. And pretty much gathering these nations, to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is in Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right. pretty much the battle, or Armageddon or Harmageddon, the mountain of the troops, man. All right, that's the valley of the Most High's judgment. So this is what the Lord's about to do out here. So we can't lose sight of the fact that the Lord is really stirring this up. You know, it says, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and we are definitely seeing uproars of the people in the world. You know, just before this, you had the Ukraine-Russia thing, and that's still going on. All right, now you got this whole Israeli-Gaza Strip thing, you know, which is going on currently. And now you got that, because one of the brothers, you know, put it in the chat. You got Erdogan, I think he's like the president of Turkey. You know, he's pretty much warning the West, you know, which they're supposed to be, you know, allies of America. But they're pretty much warning the West, man. And they're saying, look, one day we're going to come knocking on your door. You know, we ain't forgetting what you're doing to the Palestinians and how many, you know, pretty much, you're shedding the blood of these martyrs and so on and so forth. So you got these wild ass Ishmaelites that pretty much wanna raise up and put hands on these small hats. So we're in that time of great divisions. And, you know, the scripture says, you know, Satan's kingdom be divided against Satan. How shall that kingdom stand? So as you're seeing these uproars of the people in the world, you know, the Lord told us that one people are going to stand up to fight against another and swords in their hands. All right. And a modern day sword is a killing instrument. So this is the, you know, an image of these Israeli troops. They're just marching through Gaza and the complete and utter devastation. All right. That you can witness right here. You can see these stills, because I don't really want to play it because I don't want to get like a strike or anything. All right. But you can see, like, you know, the amount of just, you know, this dead just lying on the floor. Then didn't the Lord say that the dead shall be cast out as dung? All right. So these are the kinds of things that we're seeing here. All right. And, you know, that's shameful spewing upon Esau. Okay. Because here it is. We've been telling you that this man is a devil, but now he's finally showing you the horns. You know, the horns are, are protruding through. All right. And it's plain to see. But ultimately what's going on over in that land is pretty much heathens fighting over that land. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 1 and 7. It says, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire, man. You see? Okay. So this is what's going on. Your cities are burned with fire. They're dropping bombs over there in the land of Israel, man. All right. And they're pretty much, they're disproportionate response, you know, to what happened on October the 7th. They're pretty much dropping down fire on them cities, you know. And that's why I'm reading Isaiah 1 and 7, because this is also a part of biblical prophecy. And in response to this happening here, you got another prophecy popping off, which is uproars of the people. So we are definitely living in the time of biblical prophecy, man. All right. It says, it says, your cities are burned with fire, your land. Strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. All right. So really, we got strangers over in that land pretty much fighting over it. You know, and it's funny because, you know, the stuff that they did, you know, when you look at America, which is, you know, the biggest allies of the Israelis, you know, America, how was America founded? America means bitter too. And how was America founded? America was founded off the bloodshed of our people, man. The transatlantic slave trade, okay, the Devil's Punch Bowl, the Trail of Tears, Native American Indians, you know, raping their women, you know, ripping open the wombs of pregnant women. All right, so pretty much, you know, Jake's been suffering. You know, Israel, you know, the true, you know, 12 tribes have been suffering at the hands of this devil. And now he's turned his attention over to those Ishmaelites, which you got some Jake that's scattered among them too, because we are scattered among all these different nations. But for the most part, you know, Esau's shame is being seen. Okay. And, you know, this man is a very violent individual. Okay. The scriptures speak about how violence covers them as a garment, man. That's in Psalm 73. Okay. And this is all so that they can pretty much just get the rest of those Palestinians out of that land. All right. Now, ultimately, we know that they can't be the chosen people because pertaining to the prophecy in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, because you had Benjamin Netanyahu saying that they want to fulfill Isaiah's prophecy, right? In fact, let's even pull that up and see, because he wanted to pull up. He caught himself trying to want to fulfill Isaiah's prophecy, and so let's pull this up real quick. Let's see if we can pull this up. Benjamin Netanyahu. I think that's how you spell it. Isaiah. Let's see if this comes up. All right. On October the 25th, Netanyahu said in another speech, "With our combined strength, deep faith in the righteousness of our cause, and the eternity of Israel, we will fulfill the prophecy of Isaiah 60 and 18. Violence shall no more be heard in your land, devastation or destruction within your borders. You shall call your..." And you know, these are not the people, man. They're trying so hard to convince us that they're the chosen people when, you know, they're far from it, man. All right, because and furthermore, you know, your people, you know, you are Edomites and you weren't given the laws, statutes and commandments, to be followed, because the scripture said that you can't really even do that. You're not even able to do that. Psalms 50 and 16. Okay, because you weren't set up to follow the ways of righteousness. You were set up to be the wicked. All right, it's not actually within Esau's, makeup to be of or to play the role of the righteous within the Lord's movie, because this is a movie and the Most High is the ultimate director. All right, remember Proverbs 16 and 4, the Lord have made all things, even the wicked for the day of judgment, man, loosely paraphrasing. So this is Psalms 15 and 16. But unto the wicked Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. You see that? So Esau hates instruction, man, and he cast the words of the Most High behind him. So how do they expect to be fulfilling Isaiah 60 and 18 when they cast the words of the Most High behind them? They ain't got nothing to do with the scriptures, man. All right, and that's why the scriptures speak about them being hypocrites. All right, Job 20 and 4. The joy of a hypocrite is but for a moment. See, Esau's kingdom is going down, man. He's done. He's finished, man. All right, we're in a time now where the mirth is ceasing. All right, there's nothing but division, wars, rumors of wars, all these things. Their allies turning against them. You got Turkey talking shit against them. You got World War III brewing. You got allies of America turning against them. Okay, so these are the times that the Lord told us to look out for, man. All right, and I wanted to read this one before I forget it, in Proverbs 29. Okay, because the reason why you got all out suffering on the earth is because the wicked is in rulership. Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked, who is the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4 tells you that. Esau, Edom, they're known as the borders of wickedness. Okay, so when the wicked is bearing rulership over the earth, the people what? The people mourn. And you're seeing nothing but people mourning. Okay, worldwide. Okay, worldwide protests. Look at that, man. I think over here in the UK, you had a 500,000 man march in response to them Palestinians that are just being slaughtered, man. You got podcasts popping off speaking about it. You got, radio stations speaking on it. And a lot of these radio hosts, like I was listening to James O'Brien earlier on, and he was pretty much, he just pretty much can't agree with the disproportionate retaliation, that, these small hats are doing to them Palestinians, And he even put a question to one caller that called in. He said, well, how would you feel, if Hamas was in Israel, would they be using the same tactics in Israel? Would they just be bombing their own people? And the caller really didn't know what to say, so they're actually admitting, that they don't really give a shit about the civilians. All right, they want to blame Hamas, saying that they're using them as human shields and so on and so forth, but they really don't care about the Palestinians. All right, they look at other nations as goyim anyway. All right, they call you goyim, which means cattle. All right, so at the end of the day, this is what the Lord told us to look out for, the uproars of the people. But the point is, the people are mourning. The people are in a state of mourning right now because the wicked is in rulership on the earth. All right. So this Benjamin Netanyahu guy talking about fulfilling Isaiah's prophecy. Well, what about Isaiah 2:1? About there being war no more in the last days. Okay. This shows you that they ain't the people, man. What about all people coming, to learn of your ways? What, learn of the ways of the wicked? Okay, no, that's talking about when we're in rulership. Let me read it. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Now, a mountain represents a government. They just had a Hiroshima summit meeting recently. A summit is like what, a peak of a mountain. All right, so a mountain represents what? Government. All right, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. So you mean to tell me all these nations are supposed to be lining up and flocking onto the wicked to be learning of wicked ways on the earth? No, because remember, they are set up to be the wicked. Ain't no one going to be lining up to learn of wicked ways. They're going to be pretty much flocking to us to learn of righteous ways of how to live. Okay? And that's why there's going to be war no more, as opposed to there being nothing but war on the earth right now. Because remember, Esau's blessing is the sword. Remember, he's that red horse, okay, spoken of in Revelation 6:4, that's been given the power to take peace from the earth. See, Esau hasn't been set up to give peace to the earth. He's been set up to take it from the earth. All right, remember the scripture speak about destroyers them that destroy the earth. All right, so that's Esau. He's destroying the earth. It says, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Now, who are the laws given to? All right, the Israelites. Let's get Psalms 147. Okay, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Okay. Now, when, the Israelites were pretty much got delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians, they came to Mount Sinai and, Moses came down, to give the laws to who? The Israelites. He didn't come down to give the laws to no Edomites. And that's who these Amalekites are today. They are Edomites, man. Okay. They are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Okay. Moses didn't give the law unto these Amalekites. He didn't give the law to these Edomites, man. He gave it to the nation of Israel. It says, he have not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise you the Lord. So why I was reading Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, is because these same laws, we're going to be keeping them perfectly in the kingdom, and the nations are going to have to be following after these ways. The same way that, they're having to abide by Esau's rules in these last days and so on and so forth. His court system, his so-called justice system, they're going to have to learn of our ways in the kingdom. All right. And that's going to be enforced with spiritual power. Okay. Yeah. Because we're going to get spiritual power in the kingdom. All right. And that's how there's going to be peace on the earth, because we're going to be pretty much, keeping shit in line. All right. It says, so let's go back to Isaiah 2 and 4. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Okay. Now Esau's blessing is the sword. All right. So guess what? There's going to be no need for that sword anymore, because, Esau in his blessing, Esau, he pretty much, basically, he's going to be done away with. That's Obadiah 1:18. Okay. Esau's blessing of the sword, him dropping bombs on people and so on and so forth, the nuclear missiles, and that's going to be done away with, man. Okay. So this is what the scripture is talking about. When we're in rulership, there's going to be a time of peace on the earth, as opposed to, nothing but chaos that what you're witnessing now. Remember, when the wicked, bear rule, the people mourn. So the people are in mourning because there's nothing but hell out here, And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. Okay. So this is what's going on right now. There's pure wars right now. So they ain't the chosen people, man. Okay, they ain't the chosen people. And what I like to do is I like to go from there to Deuteronomy 4. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 5. It says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it." Talking about what? The Israelites. It says, "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations." All right, so we're separate from these other nations, man. Remember, Amos 3:1 on down. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities. The reason why we're being punished in these last days, the reason why we're at the bottom and no one really considers us, and we're under these curses, is because we transgressed. We broke the covenant, the agreement that we made with the Lord, so we're being punished for it. And you can read about them curses in Deuteronomy 28:15 on down. Okay. And being sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, that was one of the curses. And that's happened to our people. So we are the chosen people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. All right. And the rest of the 12 tribes that are scattered among the whole earth. That might look like the other nations. All right. Because the Lord said, "My heritage is unto me like unto a speckled bird." We might look, like these other nations, but hey, it's all about the seed. Okay, it's all about being of the stock of Israel. Okay, so it says that you should do so in the land where you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. And ain't no one thinking that this is wise. Okay. Israeli forces move deeper into God. Ain't no one thinking that this is wise. This ain't a wise thing to. But you see, when the Lord puts his anger upon us, all right, like as pertaining to Ezekiel 25, and when he gives us new bodies and spiritual powers and he turns us into them hunters, that's going to be indignation. That's going to be righteous anger, because we're going to be doing the bidding of the Lord. Okay, and really that's payback. The scripture says, all they that devour you shall be devoured, man. See, we're the ones, you see, that's true justice, because we're the ones that have suffered at the hands of all these different nations, and therefore there's going to be a recompense for that. All right. In fact, there's a scripture that even goes into that recompense. It's been a long time since I brought this one out. Is it Second Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6? Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Okay, and to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. When is that? That hasn't even happened yet. So the Yahweh is going to reveal himself with his mighty angels. That lines up with Revelation 19, where he's going to come in on a white horse, and the armies are going to follow him upon white horses, man. Which a horse represents power and white represents purity. So Yahweh is going to be revealed with his mighty angels. So we're waiting upon the Lord. Like again, you got guys that want to go down to these protests, and they want to, you got the pull-up boys. Chief Ephraim talking about going up to these Palestinians, and man, come on, bro. And these Palestinians, they're out there because their people are getting blown, their limbs, the family members are getting blown to bits. But again, remember, when a wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So they're actually supposed to be in a state of mourning. That's what the scripture says. So it don't make no sense to really go down to when they're mourning the loss of their people. It don't make no sense to go down there and be an agent provocateur, man, in the midst of all of that, because you're asking for trouble. So that's just that's no tact, that's no wisdom, man. Okay, because you're really looking. I mean, it's like, what are these guys really set up to do? But then again, you got spies, and that topic keeps coming up: spies, agents, agent provocateurs. These guys, they're even amongst us, So that's why we got to be ever so more circumspect in these last days, man. See, there's prophecies, major prophecies popping up in these last days that we must be teaching, We ain't got no time to be rolling on the floor, with Palestinian flags. We ain't got no time for that, man. We got to be teaching the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. There's flock to be fed. All right, we got to feed the lambs. What did Yahweh Shai tell Peter? He asked him 3 times, do you love me? By the 3rd time, Peter got grieved. He said, look, Lord, you know I love you. He said, feed my lambs. Feed my flock. So we got to feed the flock, man. We got to be occupied in prophecy, man. We ain't got time to be fucking, like macho men running down the street, fighting with heathens. We ain't got time for that. And furthermore, man, the Lord said, therefore wait ye upon me till I rise up to the prey. So there's going to come a time for us to get down. But right now, we just got to be teaching this word, man, Scriptures speak about the simplicity that is in Yahweh Shai. I did a lesson on that earlier. So back in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. All right, or verse 7 now. It says, for what nation is there so great who have the Most High so nigh unto them as the Lord Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? So, we're going to be living righteously in the kingdom. The new covenant is for who? The Israelites, man. The laws being put on our inward parts. Okay? Not for these other nations. And they're going to be, we're going to be a nation of kings and priests, right? We're going to be teaching these nations how to live, the right way, basically. Okay? So, but the point is I wanted to make, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. All right? But again, you see all of this stuff that's happening, all this talk and visuals of war and so on and so forth. This is all happening because the Lord said this was going to happen. Okay? And in fact, it's the Lord that's doing this. Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Remember, so we can't lose sight of this, man. This is all going according to the plans of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Amos chapter 3, verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai have not done it? So a lot of these people that they're getting jacked up, guess what? It's the Lord that's jacking them up. All right? A lot of these people that are crying out for their family members and so on and so forth. See, we just got to just thank Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai that when all hell breaks loose in these, where we're at, when Jacob's trouble is in full swing, we just got to thank Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai that we're going to be protected during that time. For doing the will of the Lord now ahead of schedule before things pop the fuck off. So we're blowing the trumpet right now. But you see, we're sounding the alarm. But Jake, they want to hit the snooze button because they got the spirit of deep sleep upon them. But that's all right because the Lord don't want to wake your ass up because he wants you jacked up. All right, here it is. We're telling you about what the Lord said was going to happen. All right, but you don't want to. You had that one, cornbread ass eating looking nigger, with that, talking about you niggas, you go get a job. You niggas are bums. All I see is you niggas angry. You sweating out there. You got guys that, come on, man, get in line, man. Pick a number. Like, hey, the servant isn't greater than the master, man. Hey, look what they did to Yahweh Shai. Even the Apostle Paul, there was a number of men that bound themselves under a curse. Was it 42 men or something? They said they weren't going to eat or drink lest they slew the Apostle Paul. Slain the Apostle Paul. So, listen, bro, like the servant isn't greater than the master, man. Yahweh Shai, look what they did. They said we had no king but Caesar, man. And you cornbread looking, eating ass niggas, you're going to really, hey, the Lord said, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry, man. Because the time of famine is coming. All right. In fact, let's read about that. This is Matthew 24. And this is what the Lord told the disciples, before his return, this is going to happen. Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So we've been seeing these things. Nothing but biblical prophecy taking place. So this is what we're supposed to be concerned with. Okay? We're living in a time of the downfall of Esau, Edom's empire. His kingdom's going down. All right? despite their inward thought is that their house shall continue forever, they think that they're going to keep on ruling. No. You know, it's futile. All the previous kingdoms, they rose to a certain point, they came crashing down. And it's going to be no different for Esau's kingdom. But as for Yahushai's kingdom, that's a kingdom that's going to be set up, that's going to never be destroyed. All right? That's Daniel chapter, we can close out on that one. Daniel, Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. Let's quickly get that scripture. In the days of these kings, right, shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. And let me say this, man, as well, man. This ain't nothing. This death toll that you're seeing ain't nothing compared to what the Lord's going to do when he comes back, man. You know, when the Lord comes back, it says the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay? So this is basically light work compared to what the Lord's going to do. You know, remember the scripture said, you know, in Psalms 110, he's going to fill the places with the dead bodies, man. He's going to strike through kings in the day of his wrath. See, the Lord is angry. All right, we worship an angry, you know, so-called black man, if you will. Okay, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? The Father and the Son. Okay, and the Lord is a man of war. So you just get ready, man. And in the time of that war, when the Lord comes back with his mighty angels, we want to be on his side. We want to be on the right side. So that's the and how do you think when the Lord comes back? You know, you ain't going to be on the Lord's side if you weren't doing what the Lord told you to do. If you wanted to do your own thing, you wanted to be carnal, that's not really doing what the Lord told us to do. See, a lot of these guys are doing this because they're really selfish and they have no fear. They really don't believe, man. You know, whether they're agents set up or whatever, Judas goats, because you're going to have these guys that are sell out turncoats, you know, pretty much, they, you know, taking bribes, filthy lucre, all of that. They've been compromised. So we just got to watch these guys, but we just got to keep our integrity. Because when all hell breaks loose and Yahushua does come back and the elect are getting beamed up, these guys are going to be wishing that they could turn back time. But it's not going to be so. All right? So let's keep going. It says, in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. And it shall stand forever. You see that? So Yahushua's kingdom is going to stand forever. All right, and by default is the, you know, the kingdom of Israel, because we're going to be joint heirs with Yahushua. All right, and that's when, you know, these heathen, they're going to be wanting to be taught of our ways. You know, they're going to want to get them blessings in. You know, because ultimately, man, our kingdom, man. Remember, the scriptures speak about, you know, we're going to be as them that dream in our kingdom. All right, there's going to be war no more. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, you know, as opposed to this, nothing but wars and rumors of wars. So anyway, with that, man, you know, hey, when the wicked bear fall, the people mourn, and you're seeing it, man. Okay, strangers devouring our land in our presence, we're seeing it. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire. All these things we're seeing is all a part of biblical prophecy. All right, so with that, man, I pray you were edified. Shalom.